Hi, I'm Adam Jahns from the Chicago Sun-Times, and I'm joined here at Hallis Hall by my colleague Patrick Finley. All right, Pat, let's talk about the Bears' receiving situation, because this is starting to look very precarious. Alshon Jeffery continues to sit out with a mild calf strain. Marquess Wilson has joined him on the sidelines. He's got the right hamstring issue. Kevin White is gone for a while, but every day that passes, I don't know if you want to sound the alarms quite yet, but Alshon Jeffery has to get back in the football field.
Well, I think we're justified in sounding the alarms just because of the way the Kevin White thing went down. I mean, keep in mind that Kevin White was day-to-day until he was lost for the season, for all intents and purposes. That's what they're saying about Alshon. They're saying they don't know yet whether he's going to play on Saturday, but he hasn't practiced in 13 days. That's a bad sign. And if Saturday is the dress rehearsal for the season, it's more than just a preseason game. I mean, it actually has some meaning to it. And, Jay Cutler's got to learn the offense. I mean, these receivers have to learn the offense. Doing so not at full strength is just going to slow the whole process.
I mean, Cutler's been clear. He wants Alshon Jeffery back out there. We know how great his connection is with Eddie Royal. We know Marquess Wilson, before he got hurt, was making strides. Martellus Bennett is still there. Mark Mariani, Josh Bellamy are stepping in. But Alshon Jeffery is Alshon Jeffery. He's their #1 receiver. And you're right, he's still learning this new offense. Yes, he was great throughout training camp before this injury. This is a guy who has had various minor injuries as well throughout his career.
Well, John Fox said this when he first came to Chicago, was that they were worried about some of the muscle injuries that had happened here. He brought in his, a whole brand new strength and conditioning staff, that sort of thing. But it popped up again. You can play the other side of this too, which is that they need to make sure that this is good in time for games, and that Jeffrey is a veteran. And you know what? If he doesn't participate in any of the preseason, odds are he's still going to be a pretty good player in week 1, assuming he's healthy. Once again, we have no way to gauge how far along he is in that process.
I guess the good news here is that he's not in a boot anymore. He's not on crutches. The Bears were overly cautious from the beginning with this mild calf strain. They're using the word mild. That's John Fox calling it mild, and Ryan Pace calling it mild. But we didn't see him at practice here today. We didn't see Marquess Wilson here at practice, and Wilson's another guy. Kevin White is out. They need Marquess Wilson to be a viable third option in that receiving corps.
And because if he's not, you're looking at Josh Bellamy, you're looking at Mark Mariani playing the slot, and then Eddie Royal is locked in playing outside. The options behind the Bears at this point aren't earth-shattering. And you get the feeling, the longer this progresses, that the Bears have to have an eye out on the receiving market, whether it's free agents or here in a week or so, kind of when the first cuts start coming around the league.
And that does it here today at Hallis Hall. For the Sun-Times, he's Patrick Finley. I'm Adam Jahns. Thanks for watching this Bears Beat video.